How would you come out if somebody been calling you a lying racist murder for the last 2 years and been spying on your administration for the last 4? What the fuck is Joe Biden doing? The pelvic thrust? Chris Wallace should have called Joe Biden out for sexual harassment. Donald Trump ain't trying to talk polite to your ass. You wasn't talking polite before when you was talking about dragging him behind the building and beating him up.
Gentlemen, a lot of people have been waiting for this night, so let's get going.
I knew MAGA have.
Our first subject is the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court first? That's a bad start. If I was a moderator, I would have started off with my Cash App's biggest threat, my baby mama. But I guess the Supreme Court is just as important.
Yeah, might as well go back to Rabbit
Trump
Astor.
nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate.
Well, next question, because we got a job to do, and we're going to do it. At least Joe Biden know who I'm going to pick.
And the justice, and I have nothing, I'm not opposed to the justices, but she seems like a very fine person.
And a very faithful Christian and constitutionalist.
But she's written before she went on the bench, which is her right, that she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional.
That's because it is, idiot.
Once again, a woman could be held pay more money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy. They're able to charge a woman more for the same exact procedure a man did.
To be able to pay a woman the same amount for the procedure as you pay a man.
I had to fix that real quick. I forgot to see that it misspelled. It's on the bottom there.
People have pre-existing conditions.
Like my uncle condition as a crackhead. To liberals as a substance abuser.
If he wins the election and the Senate is Democrat.
You mean Republicans, you idiot?
Okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly, at some point, 10 years ago or so, she said a president and the Senate is elected for a period of time, but a president's elected for 4 years.
And he must serve the whole 4.
He's elected to the next
During that period of time, we have an opening. I'm not elected for 3 years, I'm elected for 4 years. And the 100 million people, Joe
Biden, can I fucking talk?
The 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number.
That's a third of the country.
The bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care.
Let's talk about that, Joe.
That they're very
That's
happy
simply
with.
not true.
Well, you're simply going to socialist. You're going to socialist.
I guess they changed some of the names on these.
Take control.
Now into, gentlemen, we're now into open discussion. Open discussion.
We should be into open moderator, like Joe Rogan or somebody with some balls.
One of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won were saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still. They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
Ain't that a bitch?
Not what you said, and it's not what your party has said.
That is simply a
Party
lie.
doesn't say it. Your party wants to go socialist.
And if your party going socialist, nigga, you going socialist too.
Not what you said, and it's not what
That
your
is-
party has
Sorry.
said.
That is simply a
Party
lie.
doesn't say it. Your party
That is
wants to go socialist medicine.
Party is
and
me.
socialist
right
healthcare.
now.
If you are the head of your party, why is Nancy Pelosi, AOC, and Adam Schiff doing most of the talking? And plus, your supporters want free health care, and they tell you.
Medicare, and I of course want free Medicare, and this is why it's important to have free Medicare, because look what's happening right now.
Now.
See what? We should have been have free Medicare for a long time.
This
Okay.
bitch want free Medicare, and
So you're
she
right near the.
platinum records for wet ass pussy needs some checking up.
And they're going to dominate you, Joe. You know that.
Like Donald Trump dominating this debate.
It's going to wipe out pre-existing conditions. And by the way, the 200,000 people that have died on his watch.
Nigga, is it 22 million or 200,000?
How many of those have survived?
How many dead people survived? That's a damn good question.
Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act?
You got your nerves.
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me
I'm
about
happy
this.
to.
No, nigga, you can't talk. Shut up.
Here, it wouldn't be 200. It would 52 million people because you were very late on the draw.
And would have been a political weapon.
You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban
All right, gentlemen,
Europe, which was heavily
Mr.
infected.
President,
You would have been much later, Joe.
And we would have been much more infected.
Much later.
Mr.
You're
President,
talking about 2 million people.
President as a moderator.
You're not doing your motherfucking job.
The point is that the president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's also at stake.
So Roe versus Wade is in the courts on the ballot.
You don't know it's on the ballot. Why is it on the ballot?
Joe, why is it on the ballot since you know so damn much?
Because
Oh, there's somebody here who's...
According to Joe Biden, it is.
it's on the ballot in the,
I don't
Oh.
think so.
in the court.
Well, there's nothing happening there.
Where you make up your information at?
Donald, would
And
you
you
just
don't know her view on
Hermia Rift.
Roe v. Wade.
That's
I
what.
don't know.
Cell retriever done again.
Y'all assume John Roberts was conservative too.
Well, all right, let's talk.
Okay, so it
A
said
lot to unpack here, gentlemen.
it's
We got a
just
lot
to
of
the
time,
left
so-
of the area with the sacred crystal,
Well,
and
nigga,
on
I
the
ain't got a
way
lot of
to
patience. Ask the right question.
Silstride.
Mr.
Okay.
President, the Supreme Court will hear a case a week after the election in which the Trump administration, along with 18 state attorneys general, are seeking to overturn
That's right.
Obamacare.
Because that shit don't help everybody.
Okay.
And Obamacare. You have spent
So-
the last...
Because they want to give
If I,
good
if,
health
I,
care.
if I may ask my question, sir.
Nigga,
So it's
you
gotta
don't need to ask
be
the question. I already know the
around there
answer. It's the same question fake news been asking for months. Why don't you come with some new original material?
Good health care.
Over the last 4 years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come up with a plan, a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare.
Of course I have.
Well, I'll give you
rid
an
of the
opportunity. When I
individual
finish,
mandate.
I'm going to give you an
Excuse me.
opportunity.
You can't ask me a question by lying.
I got rid of the individual
goddamn.
mandate, which was a
That
big
is not a
chunk of
comprehensive
That
plan.
is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst
I
part
didn't
of
ask you,
Obamacare.
sir.
And the part of Obamacare that hurt taxpayers the most.
Chris,
You're
that was
debating
the
him,
worst
not
part of
me.
Obamacare.
Let me ask my
Well,
question.
I'll ask Joe.
Since the moderator won't ask them,
I know.
Individual mandate was the most unpopular
Mr. Vice
aspect of
Mr.
Obamacare. I
President,
got rid of it.
white people...
And of course,
pay
that triggered
taxes
a trap. It never failed.
Moderator of this debate, and I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer.
Go ahead.
But don't start a damn question by slandering me.
You, in the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace
And then another one. God damn.
Obamacare. And just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
I should be asking you, what is your moderator questioning plan?
Well, first of all, yes, I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised.
Because your ass is a never Trumper anyway. Why you never asked Joe Biden why he never took an interview from you or get asked tough questions? Here's your opportunity, the nigga right there.
We're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because
When in
they
fact-
pay just a tiny
As
fraction.
I say, this is open discussion.
No,
Let me
but
ask
this
you
is
about,
big- this
you'll
is
be
big
happy,
stuff.
sir. You'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president,
Yeah, but if he tell a lie, you gonna call him on it?
which is he points out that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare.
Is that it right there?
The argument that he makes, another
It
Republicans
is.
make, is that
It's
that
time
is
to kick
going
your
give
ass.
private insurance.
Time to kick your ass.
Biden interrupted a lot, but his voice don't carry that much.
Joe, you agree with Bernie Sanders, the far left, on the manifesto, we call it. That gives you socialized medicine. Look, are you saying you didn't agree?
He did not say he disagreed.
The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I've beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm not going to stand and face it.
He didn't win. He was picked.
Well, here's the deal. The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies.
Because he can. And the moderator not there to call out yours.
Everybody knows he's a liar.
And everybody know you a pervert.
Heads up.
Sure, what it lasted, it lasted first.
And that was a junior college.
I want to make sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
I shouldn't have let his ass start, but I'm glad I did.
There is no manifesto, number
Please
one.
let him speak, Mr.
Number two.
And number two, you just fucked up.
You just lost the left.
Number two.
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie
some of this?
How about some of this?
Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable.
Yeah, but I didn't mean it. I never said how much they should be held accountable.
Especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots.
Not true. What's been going on for the last 120 days was a peaceful protest, according to the Democrats.
The question I have, though, is...
Damn, how many times I want these gonna make these fires war?
You are the Democratic Party right now.
So your ass should be responsible for the Democratic Party actions.
Have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you stop the days and months of violence?
Because ain't that what we do?
I don't hold public office now.
So that means you don't speak for your party.
We're going to
Why the
love
hell
this
you can give advice to something that Donald Trump always doing, but can't never give advice to what your own fucking party is doing?
I am the former vice president.
And the present idiot.
You never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to call and bring in the National Guard and knock off 100 days of riots.
He can't do that because he don't control his party.
They can, in fact, take care of it if he just stay out of the way.
How about some of this?
Donald Trump is asking to step in the damn way. Because evidently the Democratic leaders can't do it their damn self. Somebody gotta get in the damn way.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Nigga, you wanna go there?
Get the killer of a young man in the middle of the street. They shot him, and for 3 days,
President Trump,
Portland
Damn.
didn't do anything. I had to send in the U.S. Marshals, and they took care of business.
President Trump, Chris Wallace wanna stop you because you're stating facts.
go ahead, sir.
And by the way, you know, his own former spokesperson said, riots and chaos and violence help his cause.
Well, wouldn't it be a good idea if your dumb ass told him to stop? And who in the hell told you that anyway?
That's what this is all
I
about.
don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
I think
Joe Biden don't know either.
instead of going in and talking to people and saying, let's get everybody together, figure out how to deal with this, what's he do? He just pours gasoline in the fire, constantly, and every single solitary
Okay,
time.
and
Oh shit, Donald Trump been waiting to respond to that gasoline on the fire shit.
to end this, button up this segment, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly criticized...
Answer his statement.
You have
His statement?
repeatedly...
Wait,
you have
just
repeatedly...
wait a
No,
second.
you've been talking back
made
and
a
forth.
statement.
I'm asking you...
I would love to end it.
sir...
I would love to end it.
If you want to switch seats, we can very quickly do that, but...
Somebody need to switch seats with your ass. We need a real moderator. Where the hell is Tucker Carlson when you need him?
We have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing extremist groups.
And he never did. And why your ass don't ask him to call out Antifa and Black Lives Matter like you want me to call out the white supremacists?
But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
If I do white supremacists, is this nigga gonna do Antifa and Black Lives Matter?
Are you
I'm willing
prepared
to
to
do that.
specifically do it?
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing.
So let's talk about their ass too. Chris Wallace, be fair. Give both sides equal treatment.
Not from the right
So
wing.
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well, then
peace.
do it, sir.
I will, but how many more motherfucking times y'all gonna ask me? I've been denouncing the KKK,
All right.
white supremacists, the skinheads,
Back to Reverend Esther.
all the other shit since Stephen Duke.
Say it. Do it. Say it. You want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
What would
right
you like me to condemn?
white supremacists and right
Proud Boys?
I was talking to Chris Wallace, Joe Biden. I was asking him to give me a name since he asked the question. But since you want to say Proud Boys, fuck it. Proud Boys it is.
Stand back and stand by.
Saving at the moment.
Stand back from civil arrest, but stand by in case you see some of these liberals trying to ballot harvest or do illegal
There we
voting.
go.
Then you stand by.
But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left because this is not a right-wing problem.
And my grandmother is not a And my grandmother is not a Crip problem. She the Bloods problem.
This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it,
Not
kid.
militia.
So it's a myth been running around burning shit up. Chris Wallace, you not gonna call them out on this Antifa is a myth shit? What kind of fucking moderator job is you doing?
That's what his
It's an idea.
FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
And if his ass said Antifa is a myth, his ass is getting fired next.
No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next.
But that is your
All right.
administration. That's not an idea.
Everybody in your
There it is.
administration
K4
tells you the
punch.
truth is a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas.
Antifa is a dangerous
All right,
radical
gentlemen, we're now moving.
You find this mark at Goldmore Temple, the Wrestling Chapel. It's sometimes hidden like some bunnies are, and will pop out when you get near.
Well, nigga, do your job. Never mind, Chris Wallace, we tired of you shit. Let's hear from Donald Trump.
Because there has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax. And you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite going through all of these things, where I had to fight both flanks and behind me and above, there has never been an administration that's done what I've done.
If you don't believe me, Google it.
The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment numbers, everything was good.
And the Democrats had nothing to say. But that's not all.
A rebuilding of the military, including Space Force and all of the other things.
Nigga, Donald Trump created a new military.
A fixing of the VA, which was a mess under him.
Your veteran bill was worse than your damn crime bill.
308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. He was a mess.
Damn. Why fake news don't talk about that?
A new report out from the Department of Veteran Affairs Inspector General has found that over 300,000 veterans died while waiting for care from VA hospitals and doctors, and that leaves another 600,000 still waiting for care. Here's the thing, guys. I mean, we know we should be taking care of these men and women. They've risked their lives for our country. We all know that freedom isn't free. This is
Friends Village. Yeah, I forgot about this. It's been a minute since I played this game, so it's not a whole lot. I remember my first playthrough. Last time I played this game before the other night was
last year, there was more than 867,000 of them whose applications to just get in line at the VA were not processed. Since at least 2010, when investigators found applications actually stuffed in drawers inside VA processors' desks.
Now that's just trifling.
This all comes to light because of, once again, a VA whistleblower who's coming out to rat out on the management that he sees, in this case, is just doing such a disservice to the veterans. On that list, 307,000 have died waiting. One guy's application, John, had been waiting for 14 years.
Them illegal immigrants got better health care than American veterans. Why Chris Wallace ain't asking Joe Biden about swine flu?
Because he, in fact, already has cost 10 million people their health care that they had from their employers because of his recession.
So it was
come on. One of you fucks.
Not China or coronavirus.
You?
Number one. Number two, there are 20 million people
there you
health
are.
care through Obamacare now that he wants to take it away.
And give them something better. You forgot to mention that.
Oh, I want to give them better health care at a much lower price. Because
By the way, he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how
I've
to do
already
that.
fixed it.
He has never
already
offered a
fixed
plan.
it to an extent.
He has never done a
as you
single
might
thing.
know, but probably don't.
Gentlemen, you realize
is
if you're
no
both
good,
speaking at the
It's
same
no good,
time.
and it's too expensive.
Let the president. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Joe, shut the fuck up and let a boss speak.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We took away the individual mandate. We guaranteed pre-existing conditions, but took away the individual mandate. Listen, this is the way it is.
So, Joe Biden, you can shut the fuck up. And that's the bottom line. Next!
By the end of the first term, I'll
Oh,
have
well, see,
approximately
well, fuck.
300
I didn't even
federal
realize that.
judges and
Okay.
Court of Appeals judges.
Judges who see
Okay.
the Biden administration left wide open.
I forgot you could do that.
All right, I have one final question for you,
Sure.
Mr. Vice President. if Senate Republicans, we were talking originally about the Supreme Court here, if Senate Republicans go ahead and confirm Justice Barrett, there has been talk about ending the filibuster or even packing the court, adding to the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in...
Well, I'm saying some of your Democratic colleagues from the party that you said that you are the head of and you're responsible for.
So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it.
And that you're going to refuse to talk about it in the future too.
Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak.
The American people should speak. No, nigga, you should speak the truth. Who you gonna pick? Or will you support the filibuster?
Vote and let your senators know how strong you feel. Vote now. Make sure you, in fact, let people know you're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that question?
The question is, the question is,
Justice, radical left.
Will you shut up, man?
Why? Because he's doing the job Chris Wallace is supposed to be doing? Nigga, who you gonna pick, or is you supporting the filibuster? Simple question.
Who is on your list, Joe? Who's on your list?
Some crazy left-wing back crazy hoe.
Am I just now discovering these spots? Huh.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
Without knowing what list of judges or if this nigga support the filibuster, ain't that a bitch?
That was really a pretty productive segment, wasn't it?
Yeah, nigga, not for you.
Keep yapping, man.
And keep sniffing. Little girl's hair, you little fucking pervert.
And the people understand, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing. They understand.
If they don't, they stupid as shit.
The second subject is COVID-19, which is an awfully serious subject, so let's try to be serious about it.
Hell yeah, it's serious. Especially now since Donald Trump done came down with him.
The President of the United States is suffering from a deadly virus. He has to quarantine. He is not able to fully perform his duties as Commander-in-Chief.
Somehow they're gonna blame Donald Trump.
Number one, Don. The President of the United States may be super spreader number 1 at this juncture, based upon the number of people that he comes into contact with.
Yeah, your ass may be super hole number 1.
There it is, you motherfucker.
You done sucked.
I would assume that some of the work would have to be handed to the Vice President of the United States, but if the Vice President of the United States has to quarantine as well, then that would probably
motherfucker, quit running.
Shit, who said that?
Has the White
I'm about
House
to use the mist on him.
about the continuity of government?
No, they haven't, but that is ongoing, not with the White House, but with
That's it, you're getting the mist. I'm not doing
quite
it.
frankly, in terms of some officials in the government. Not
Nancy Pelosi will be president over MAGA dead body.
We have had more than 7 million cases of coronavirus in the United States, and more than 200,000 people have died.
According to Joe, it was only 20 people that died. Or 2 million.
By the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand.
And hopefully that nigga understand because he looking like he don't.
Here she comes.
Look at what we've done. I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist, and he's xenophobic. Because you didn't think we should have closed our country.
It's just 2 minutes.
And your ass is the racist. I wouldn't put it on this video, but this video is too damn long already. It's an hour and a half. But your racist ass is coming up. Video coming soon.
The governor said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that.
The ones that was telling the truth said it.
In fact, people that would not be necessarily
Let me
on my
show you
side
how it's
said
done.
that.
Like Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom.
President Trump did a phenomenal job. We did.
And Joe Biden didn't do no job at all. All the nigga done was talked about it. And I don't give a fuck what fake news say. Donald Trump is gonna make that debate.
Got a surprise for
We
you.
got the gowns, we got the masks, we made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made the ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing therapeutics
surprise
already.
for you.
Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying.
And since Donald Trump got coronavirus, virus is even gonna be fake.
I never
We've done a
miss.
great job. The only thing I haven't done a good job
My
with is
regards.
fake news. No matter what you say
This
to them,
fucking
they give
buddy
you
would be
bad
dead.
press on it. It's just fake news.
Because even if Joe Biden did have coronavirus, fake news ain't gonna tell. Why the fuck you think Joe Biden was locked up in the house for a month? Now all of a sudden he's doing drive-by townhouse meetings and taking train tours around the motherfucking nation. Joe Biden probably been had coronavirus.
Thank God.
They give you good press, they give me bad press, because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me just tell you something. I don't care. I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could
Alright,
never have done the
back
job
to
that
the
we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
He don't have it in his blood, and Hunter Biden got crack in his system. I just have to throw that one in.
I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job.
You didn't do very well on swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster.
And if H1N1 is your record, nigga, your record is no good.
Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
And that's coming straight out of the doctor's note.
I just had a couple things. I mean, I was in the White House in 2009, 2010. I worked for Vice President Biden. I wasn't involved directly in the H1N1 response, but I lived there as a White House staffer. And what I will say about it is a bunch of really talented, really great people working on it, and we did every possible thing wrong.
Joe Biden, your experts say you fucked up.
1,000 people died, not 200,000. There was no
very
economic
Listen,
recession.
sir, you made a
There was
far
no
less
you made a point. Let him answer.
Let him answer for what? That nigga gonna lie any damn way, and you ain't gonna correct him.
And it's, 60 million Americans got H1N1 in that period of time. And it's just purely a fortuity that this isn't one of the great mass casualty events in American history.
If the moderator was doing his job, he would have quoted Joe Biden experts like he quoted Donald Trump's.
And there was we didn't shut down the economy.
Had nothing to do with us doing anything wrong. Just having fun.
So we're gonna go with luck over success.
This is his economy he shut down. The reason it's shut down is because, look,
Donald Trump did listen to the experts, and your experts said we better beware because your administration didn't learn shit.
And so if anyone thinks that this can't happen again, they don't have to go back to 1918, they just have to go back to 2009, 2010. Imagine a virus with a different... And you can just...
Be oh so quiet. I do not wish to suffer their scorn should they speak of... Be oh so quiet. I do not wish to suffer their scorn should they see us speak. Follow me at a distance. Thank you. With this, Aja can prepare the vision dust. The hidden path from Glamour you took to reach our village. Its scent, you recall. Light on the breeze, so sweet. This is the scent of the vision dust. Our Vieira, it has no effect, but it clouds the minds of our races, keeping our village hidden from the world. I was told someone had hunted the Verpole bunny. Was it you? Aja, do not be angry. Hear what I would say. How long now have you studied under Hala? Yet you remain silver apprentice because you have not prepared the vision dust. I know how you have worked to become slave maker. I wished only to help, and your leg. I know of that too. Enough, Nara. That was an accident. No more. You were protecting a slave maker who ventured into Glamour, were you not? Since then, bickering. A rift between warder and slave maker. Where they should work as one with the elder. Is that not so? Yes, I was wounded that day protecting a slave maker. The path of the wood warder was closed to me forever. What happened on that day I would not change. I acted as I must to protect the slave apprentice on her hunt. I fulfilled my duty. There were times when I mourned my loss, but the decision to leave the wood warders and become a slave maker was my own. You must be clear about this. I had no one to blame. As you say, only use this in prepared vision dust. You must promise. This I will do now. I am sorry to have burdened you with our troubles. For the dream's hair tale, you have my thanks. Alright. We got some stuff.
Do the math on that.
I think Joe Biden needs to do them numbers because evidently he forgot the math on that.
You have repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week before last, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield, said it would be summer before the vaccine would become generally available to the public. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your 2 words. But Dr. Slawi, the head of your Operation Warp Speed, has said exactly the same thing. Are they both wrong?
Hell yeah. Which one of them 2 is making a vaccine?
Well, I've spoken to the companies and we can have it a lot sooner. It's a very political thing because people like this would rather make it political than save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer, I've spoken to all of the people that you have to speak to. We have great Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and others. They can go faster than that by a lot.
But politics won't let them. Next!
You say the public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it,
I'll be here all day.
You and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear.
And scaring the shit out of liberals.
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out.
Your
He
heart.
puts pressure
All right.
and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying you can't,
Everybody
or
knows.
Senator Harris is saying you can't trust the scientists.
Well, no, you can't trust the scientists.
Well, that's not what Camilla Harris said. So that means y'all must disagree.
She didn't say that. You can't trust
She said that public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed.
Well, that's what he's going to try to do, but there's millions of scientists.
So can you answer why your VP will say some shit like that?
Their job doesn't depend on him. That's not... They're the people... And by the way...
To the scientists that are in charge,
by the way,
they will have the vaccine very soon.
Joe Biden, what scientist did you talk to?
He panicked or he just looked at the stock market. One of the 2. Because guess what? A lot of people died. And a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
Mr. President?
Wait a minute, nigga. What?
Did you use the word smart?
I think he did.
So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated.
Oh shit, I don't forget what that thing was.
Lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me.
Or pedophile.
Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you,
Okay.
Joe.
You using the word smart is not cool.
I couldn't remember where he was at.
Kissing girls on the back of the neck and playing with their hair is not cool. And MAGA would agree. I don't know why liberals think this nigga is the next Buddha. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
Damn, Joe Biden shut up on the man. Next.
Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because the liberal scientists said so.
You've got to provide these businesses the ability to have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need.
So more money is the key to opening the economy. Ain't that a bitch?
Oh, fuck.
Pelosi.
Well, he's just shush for a minute.
That's gonna be a pain.
Tell it to Nancy Pelosi.
And
Schumer,
by the
Brian
way,
Chuck.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan.
Wait a minute, nigga. You the leader of the Democratic Party. Why you ain't got one?
Well, he wants to shut down this country. And I want to keep it open. And we did a great thing by shutting it down. Wait a minute, Joe. Let me shut you down for a second, Joe. Just for 1 second.
Because what you saying really don't mean shit.
He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the
Oh,
disease.
fuck.
Now we
Then we gotta ride the chocobo to get there?
People with heart problems and
I'm almost positive we gotta ride the
different
fucking
problems
chocobo to get there.
Very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot.
I'm almost positive I gotta ride the fucking chocobo to get there.
President Trump, you have begun to
Yeah, it was there. Give me the chocobo.
And Joe Biden over-exaggerating the effectiveness of masks.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking
Sounds fair.
200 feet away from it, he shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I will say
Vice President Biden, go ahead.
Yeah, Joe Biden, what do you think about masks?
Head, sir.
Look, the way to open businesses is give them the wherewithal to be able to open. We provided money.
But I was asking you, sir, about masks.
Well, masks make a big difference.
Nigga, wait a minute. Did you forget?
His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks and social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also said the opposite. They've also said
no serious person said the opposite.
So I guess Dr. Versace ain't shit.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
I guess Joe Biden didn't see this interview. Chris Wallace, is you gonna back up Donald Trump fact?
No, so we'll see. All right, I want to ask you. Dr. Fauci said the opposite.
I want to ask you. We got a minute left in this
masks
segment.
Are not
I forgot where it was.
He said masks good.
Chris Wallace, can you?
There's like a spot where you can go and. Down that way, I don't remember. I'm ready to lose a chocolate too.
China and South Korea, whatever, everybody's wearing a mask. Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
Dr. Versace said people shouldn't be walking around with masks. If Chris Wallace would have done his research, Chris Wallace would have knew this was true too. And if he knew it was true, he sure in the fuck didn't say it.
There we go. And it
President
was.
Trump, you're holding large rallies with crowds packed.
Yeah, there we go.
Thousands of people.
Outside.
Okay.
Outside, yes, sir. Agreed. Vice President Biden, you are holding much smaller events with
Nobody will show up.
people with.
What's true? Nobody shows up to his rally.
All right.
That was a fact Chris Wallace even had to laugh at.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody can.
Gentlemen, can we move on to the gentlemen?
About to drive-in press conferences.
The unemployment rate fell to 8.4% last month. The Federal Reserve
Hope I don't have to
says
fuck with
the
these
hit to
switches
growth,
when I can just go straight to the
is not going to
thing.
be nearly as big as they had expected.
So what the fuck that mean?
Oh fuck!
4 million people
I don't want to deal with this.
that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before.
Can a moderator at least agree with that fact? Never mind, let's just ask Joe Biden what he gonna do.
Why does he want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of the American? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis.
Never mind, Joe Biden is saying script this shit. Let Donald Trump talk.
Your time is up, sir. We are going to get to the...
I have to respond to that.
Well, you both had 2 minutes, sir.
So after 2 minutes, and it's supposed to be an open debate, so
Is that the
I
one
should
I
have
need
time
open?
to respond, right?
Excuse me, he made a statement.
And I should be able to respond, but I can't. I see where this is going.
Mr. President, as you well know, there's a new report that in 2016, the year you were elected president, and 2017, your first year...
Ah, no, not that way. What the fuck?
$750 a year in federal income tax each of those years.
So how much money in taxes did Hunter Biden pay in them same years?
Show us your tax return.
Show Hunter Biden child support payments.
You know, if you want to do, go to the Board of Elections. There's a 118-page or so report that says everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally under-leveraged because the assets are extremely good, and we have a very, I built a
I'm asking you a specific...
Wait a minute, nigga. How you gonna ask me something and say I can't answer?
The question, which is...
Let me tell you.
I understand all of that. I understand all of that. No.
I asked. I'm the president. Joe Biden never built a block made out of a Lego set.
Mr. President, I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
How about none of your motherfucking business?
It was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax.
What's small businessman do?
Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other private person, unless they're stupid, they go through the laws, and that's what it is.
It's called loopholes. It is not illegal.
He passed a tax bill that gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We built a building and we get tax credits like the hotel on Pennsylvania.
Better lead where I need to go.
Which, by the way,
Okay,
was
good.
given to me by the Obama administration.
So you can say the Obama administration was looking out and cutting taxes on the rich. And who looking out for Joe Biden campaign right now? Rich people.
The tax code that made him put him in a position
don't know why I don't have his gambits on, honestly.
Is the one that the Biden administration created.
The money a school teacher makes.
Yeah.
It's because of him taking, he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code.
Well, ain't that what smart people do?
That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts and make sure that we invest in the people who, in fact, need the help. People out there need help.
I wonder what the reservoir's got to say about that.
But why didn't you do it over in the last 25 years?
Why
did you do it over
because you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator, and by the
worst president America has ever had.
Even the ones that was openly racist.
Hey, Joe, let me just tell you, Joe, I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years.
And that's a fact. Joe Biden ain't done shit in his own state.
Bullshit in Delaware. We're tired of the lies from the Democratic Party in Delaware. Joe Biden doesn't do nothing here. I live on East 28th Street, right across the street from the projects. I have never seen Joe Biden a day in my life, never. To come to Delaware and do anything. It's lies. It's all lies. What is he going 4 years. Donald Trump's been over 4 years cleaning up their mess for over hundreds of years. It's not his fault. This is their politicians. This is the change. Donald Trump is the change, bro.
Joe Biden is the problem. Next.
You propose more than $4 trillion over a decade in new taxes. Individuals making more than $400,000 a year and among corporations. President Trump says that kind of an increase in taxes is going to hurt the economy as it's just coming out of a recession.
Well, Jeffrey, every donation is going to help my cash out and put me in a progression.
I never miss.
My regards. And under my proposal, we're going to make sure that every penny of that has to be made by a company.
But respectfully, sir, I'm talking about taxes, not spending.
By the way, I'm going to eliminate a significant number of the tax
Joe Biden, mine's so fucked up sometimes you don't even know what topic he on.
You're going to love this one.
The corporate tax 28%. It shouldn't be 21%. You have 91 companies, federal, in the Fortune 500 who don't pay a single penny in tax, making billions of dollars.
Why didn't you do it
billions of dollars?
You were vice president with Obama.
That's a damn good question. Why you didn't do it?
Mr. President, let me pick up on that. You would continue your free market approach, lower taxes, more deregulation, correct?
Not lower taxes, American people.
Nigga, would you shut the fuck up and let me talk?
But in Obama's, you talk about the economy booming, it turns out that in Obama's final 3 years as president, more jobs were created, 1.5 million more jobs than in the first 3 years of your presidency.
Nigga, that is fake news. Obama inherited one of the worst recessions ever. The economy was at the bottom. All you can fucking do was go up.
They took over something that was down here. All you had to do is turn on the lights and you pick up a lot.
So in other words, creating jobs out of a recession was really shit.
If you got in, if you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that are poured in here will leave, and plenty of companies that are already here, they'll leave for other places. They will leave, and you will have a depression, the likes of which you've never seen.
And China will finally get their wish and become the world's dominant power, thanks to Joe Biden. Because if you tax the companies, where the fuck you think they're going to move to? China.
We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
It wasn't booming. It wasn't booming. It was the weakest street government.
Is it fair to say he blew it when, in fact, when there was record low unemployment before COVID?
When the economy was the best in the world, now every economy is hurting. The only economy is not hurting is China's.
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID, manufacturing went home. Manufacturing went home.
Said that Barack Obama
is to make sure that folks are trained for the jobs that are coming in now, because some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back.
Barack Obama say manufacturing jobs are gone forever.
Nice.
Number one. Number two. Number three.
They said it would take. No, you were number two.
And I don't think he can count to number 4.
Alright, time to go back.
And when somebody says, like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for, that he's going to bring all these jobs back.
Nigga, he did.
No. Chris, they said it would take a miracle to bring back manufacturing. I brought back 700,000 jobs. They brought back nothing. They gave up on manufacturing.
And that's another fact Chris Wallace ain't gonna support.
Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do? There's no answer to it. He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going to negotiate that? What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.
He don't have an answer because Donald Trump had a solution. I think a solution is better than a damn answer.
China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out millions of dollars. Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of dollars.
And that's a fact. Mr. Moderator, you ain't gonna do your job and follow up?
And also, while we're at it, why is it, just out of curiosity, the mayor of Moscow's wife gave your son $3.5 million. What did he do to deserve it?
Chris Wallace, you can join in now. Where's Hunter? We know
Kind of giddy on that ball. Kind of on that.
Where is Hunter?
What did he do with Marissa to deserve $183,000?
You've asked the question, not an answer. If not,
None of that is true.
Oh, really? He didn't get
hey,
$3.5 million?
Mr. President,
It's totally,
please,
totally
ask the question.
discredited. Totally discredited.
That's all right. We know you don't want to give Donald Trump no credit. Chris Wallace, you not gonna ask Joe Biden who discredited that story? But I gotta give credit to Wilson McManus to his donation to my Cash App. Why in the hell Chris Wallace keep cutting off Donald Trump every time he asks questions about Hunter Biden? Why in the hell does Chris Wallace keep interrupting Donald Trump when he asking Joe Biden about Hunter Biden?
And by the way,
Well, wait, he didn't get $3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice
He got
Mr.
$3.5
President.
million.
And the moderator should point them facts out. Ain't that his job?
that is not true.
Oh, really?
Mr. President,
but,
it's an open discussion, please.
Now,
It's a fact.
It's a fact. But Chris Wallace will accept that Joe Biden had the story discredited. Never mind. Ask him Bible. And why the hell is Chris Wallace taking up for Joe Biden? Can't Joe Biden defend his damn self?
Well, you have raised an issue. Let the Vice President answer.
discredited.
Did Barista pay him $183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr.
Look,
President,
my son did nothing wrong at Barista.
I think he did.
And so do MAGA.
Mr.
only
President,
guy that
let him
needs
answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth.
Your truth. Since when the Democratic Party started telling the truth, you're gonna get your ass fired.
And his position has been totally, thoroughly discredited. And
Saving again. Oh, no, new file. Damn it. Hang on, does that.
By the World Bank,
There we go.
You're getting frustrated, but I didn't hear you say no authorities. All of them could be in cahoots.
by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact, even
Mr.
the
President,
people who testified under oath.
So let me ask you this.
No, go ahead, Mr. I'm listening to you.
People under.
You got $3.5 million from Moscow.
He testified under oath in his administration, said, I did my job and I did it very well.
Nigga, we're not talking about your job. We're talking about Hunter's and how he got his job.
Oh, really? I'd like to know who they are.
Well, I'll give you the list of the people who testified.
No, go ahead, sir.
Sure, you've already fired most of them because they did a good job.
Some people don't.
Well, here's the...
And their ass gotta go.
With you,
Go ahead, wait a minute, you get the final word.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown.
Clown, and that comes from somebody who parties a damn circus.
Excuse me, this...
Hey, let me just tell you.
No. Mr. President,
$3.5 million, Joe.
That is simply...
Why did he deserve $3.5 million from
Double
Moscow?
And it wasn't because of his work history.
Here's the deal. We want to talk about families and ethics. I don't want to do that. I mean, his family we could talk about all
okay.
night.
Nigga, and we can talk about your
I'm glad a lot of these pensioners are near teleport spheres because it really helps out.
And that's such a...
Mr. President, every single one of them was.
This is not about my family or his family. It's about your family.
No, nigga, this part is about your family.
The American $3.5 million.
He doesn't, that's not true. It doesn't want to talk about what you need.
Nigga, don't try to change the subject. Where's Hunter?
All right, that's the end of the segment. We're moving on.
It did take them.
So no, where's Hunter?
Well,
Vice President, no.
Can I be honest? It's a very important
Try to be
question.
honest.
He stood up.
No,
He stood up.
the answer to the question is no.
Ukraine.
No, sir.
With $1 billion, if you
That is you know what? You're waiting.
not
Stop.
true. You're doing it.
You're going to have
true.
Gentlemen.
Start your engines. I always wanted to say that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing more interrupting.
Oh, that's
than
all
you
right,
have.
but he does plenty.
Well, less than, sir, less
There's
than
plenty.
No, less than you have.
Who's counting?
Let's please continue on. The issue of race. Vice President Biden, you say that President Trump's response to the violence in Charlottesville 3 years ago, when he talked about very fine people on both sides, was what directly led you to launch this run for president.
Oh, that's because none of the other 300 candidates the Democratic Party had would work. They didn't want to embarrass nobody else but Joe Biden.
Yeah, sure.
President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country?
Caleb ain't got all these maps already.
That is a dumbass question.
This is a president who has used everything as a dog whistle to try to generate racist hatred, racist division.
And your back, shoulder rubs, and your hair sniffing is a dog whistle to try to molest you.
Bloodwig hunt again.
This man is a savior of African Americans.
Well, the African American president showing the fuck wasn't.
This man cares at all. This man's done virtually nothing.
And Barack Obama done everything for the gays.
Look, the fact is that you have to look at what he talks about. You have to look at what he did, and what he did has been disastrous for the African American community.
What? Getting black people out of jail?
There you get the Barren
jobs,
Passage.
and helping them out with education? That's really bad for the black community. If you were a Democrat.
With race.
Did a crime bill, 1994, where you call them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it.
I know my grandmother haven't, and she's still looking for you over that shit.
That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that made them do
Okay,
this,
so it's in Barren
they must
Passage.
take it
Let's
off
get there.
the street.
I gotta go.
That's number one. There's a consensus on that.
Yeah, a consensus took him
Where's
by
that
your
lead?
racist ass Democratic friends.
I'm curious. I wanna know
Unless
where
we
that
do
leads.
something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally, I give myself 3 more minutes.
What, you reclaiming your time?
Just 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country.
Including David Duke.
If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets that society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created.
Would the Democratic Party help?
You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that.
You said Barack Obama was the first clean, black, smart man you ever saw.
Because they literally have not.
I hope I'm
been
not gonna go here and I
socialized.
can't get to where I need to go.
They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now.
And lock all of their ass up. And speaking of locking up, where is your law enforcement support?
Almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio.
And I have David Cheese, bro.
I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters.
Because law enforcement is like a bad taste in a liberal's mouth.
And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement?
Because that nigga is scared too. Because law enforcement don't support him. The niggas who don't support law enforcement support him.
Because, you that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats.
The Democratic Party that you said that you are the head of, why you can't holler at your Democratic Party?
If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't.
Joe Biden believe in hair sniffing and neck rubs.
The top 10 cities and just about the top 40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left, and they've got you wrapped around their finger, Joe.
Speaking of rap, Remy Design is designing me a special rope so my baby mama can wrap around her damn neck. Thank you, Remy.
And I'll tell you what, the people of this country want and demand law and order, and you're afraid to even say it.
Because Joe Biden is a little hoe.
All right. I want to return to the question of race.
For what? You think it's going to make me look bad?
Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Of course he do. He can't piss off Black Lives Matter.
Yes, there's a system.
In order to get this to work, you need to bear key. Get it. Getting it involves helping Janitor's wife in the South Bank.
And law enforcement and the way in which it's enforced.
What's it enforced? Nigga, you're lying. You're stuttering. I know why they say Donald Trump sounds so aggressive. Is because Joe Biden sounds so soft.
And by the way, violence in response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate.
How the fuck you gonna talk to Vladimir Putin and DJ Ping with that language?
Right.
What is peaceful protest? When they run through the middle of town and burn down your stores and kill people all over the place?
That is not peaceful. President Trump,
No, it's not, but you say it is.
Because Chris Wallace is not. And he's not letting me expose this peaceful protest lie.
President Trump, I'd like to continue with the issue of race. I promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order in a moment.
Well, hurry up. I don't like your line of questioning.
This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training, and do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I don't want to know how it feels to be white. I want to know how it feels to be rich. And if I keep on getting donations from Thomas Brown like this, one day I will.
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane.
It was prompting a divisiveness. It was prompting comments that I don't support at all.
Virtually all white people uphold the system of racism.
One of the specific comments in the training was that, quote, virtually all white people contribute to racism.
Radical,
you would know.
what is radical about racial sensitivity training?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal.
Accept their white racial superiority and accept essentially all of the baggage that comes with this reducible essence of whiteness.
I accept this baggage that come with Donna James Cash App.
And white superiority, and was essentially denouncing the country and asking white employees at the Treasury Department and affiliated organizations to accept their white privilege.
I don't agree with that, and I don't think that should be part of federal training.
And taking up federal dollars.
Another is that training government workers to believe in divisive anti-American propaganda.
The memo says in part, quote, all agencies are directed to begin to identify all contracts or other agency spending relating to any training on, quote, critical race theory, white privilege, or any other training or propaganda effort that teaches or suggests either one, that the United States is an inherently racist or evil country, or two, that any race or ethnicity is inherently racist or evil.
And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to teach very bad ideas and frankly very sick ideas.
There's no place for that, especially when it comes to using federal dollars for it. There is a place for us to have conversations about how we can ease and calm racial tensions in this country.
There's trouble on the North Bank, I'm sure that I wish Ontario was here, but I know he can't leave the outpost on watch.
Is exactly the right thing to do.
North Bank.
Well, Luke Boss donating to my Cash App.
have to go back to the core values of this country. They were teaching people that our country is a horrible place, it's a racist place, and they were teaching people to hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
President Trump on Twitter this morning blasted critical race theory, which says there is racism in the belief that America is the land of opportunity, or that the most qualified person should receive a job.
President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. He's the racist.
You just don't.
Here's the deal. I know a lot more about this.
These types of trainings, the memo says, creates resentment inside the federal government.
Let him finish.
The fact is that there is racial insensitivity. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like.
For what? I don't want to share my emotions, feelings, and understanding with a crackhead.
Well, that's North Bank. Okay.
Feel for her, so I can know how good my life is.
Okay, we'll go up there then, real quick.
This is a sickness that cannot be allowed to continue. Please report any sightings so we can quickly extinguish. The days of taxpayer-funded indoctrination trainings that sow division and racism are over. At the direction of the President of the United States, we are directing agencies to halt critical race theory trainings immediately. Supporters of this program think it's critical to restoring racial
Well, I guess I ain't gonna fucking know, because you ain't gonna let me go there.
Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Who are you talking about? Trump supporters? Now you labeling half of America.
It's a little bit like how this guy and his friends look down on so many people. They look down their nose on people.
Well, this pensioner's locked, and I don't know why, so
they look down on people who don't have money. They look down on people.
Hopefully they'll let me do another one, because this one's locked.
They look down on people who are a different color.
In other words, hell no.
Is that the Democrats that run these cities don't want to talk like you about law and order.
Violent
and you
crime.
Still haven't mentioned.
Violent
Are you
crime.
in favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow.
Are you in favor of law and order? Go ahead.
You asked a question, let him finish.
Law and order.
Let him
Law and order with justice, where people get treated fairly.
But we're not talking about Republican-led cities. We're talking about Democratic-led cities.
President,
every record in the
Mr. President, you're going to be very happy, because we're now going to talk about law and order.
Places we had trouble were Democratic-run cities.
That's exactly my question. There has been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact there have been equivalent spikes in Republican-led cities.
Again, on the news, the number of deaths is like a sports update.
But if you look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were shot and 8 died shot.
You can start a weekly gambling pool on how many people are going to die in Chicago. Fantasy homicide.
And he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't.
Hello YouTube, Fuzzfinger here, and today we're going to be working with a side quest known as Patient in the Desert Expert. Stay tuned. Tried his petition at that hunt, governor the hunt.
He's at the outpost. Fuck's that at? Outpost, that's the way down there. Or if he's still over there. We'll go find out. We'll go find out. Hopefully he is. Nope, nope, we're fleeing. We're not fighting right now. Yeah, it's a long way. I'm glad they got the fast forward button for this game. Makes getting through these sections a lot easier. wait, we are still over here. Better give me what I fucking need. No. Don't fight them. This is definitely my dad's boat, but where's my dad? Something bad must have happened. I'm crossing to the north bank to see what's going on. I know how to pilot the boat, and there's no point in waiting around here worrying. Nonsense. Watching your father pilot the boat and doing it yourself are two different things. The river's dangerous, boy. But what if my dad's in trouble? After him, there's no one that even knows how to pilot the boat except me. Yes, but even if you make it across the river, who knows what you'll find once you're there. I'm sorry, but it's simply too dangerous. But my dad... What if he went with I can't even pronounce that. He hunted the flowering cacti for Dentero. He must know how to defend himself. That is true. What do you say, boy? Will you do this for our village? Will you go with T to see what's happened to the North Bank? You just gotta. I'll pilot the boat. What do you say? Let's go. Thanks. What are we waiting for? Thank you, boy. Look after T for us. And you, T, you be careful. The river will swallow the lot of you if you're not. Oh, cool. They gave us a cutscene for that. That's cool. Look, over there. Are those cactoids? They must have attacked the North Bank. What are we gonna do? Wait, there's my dad. And everyone else too. I don't like the look of this one bit. Seems like they're holding them hostage. But what would cactoids want them with hostages? I don't believe it. The cactoids all up and left. Now's our chance to help my dad. I'm so glad you're alright. We didn't know what happened to you. Quite a tale, that one. And you've some tales of your own, piloting the boat all by yourself. I know you got the river. I knew you got the river in your blood. The others said it was too dangerous, but I knew I could handle it. But what about the cactoids? They ran off for good, right? We can only hope so. Still, they're a prickling lot. Can't imagine they'd give up that easily. Whoa, what's that? That is the leader of the cactoids. Hey, Prickle Pants, what do you think you are, kidnapping my dad? Stay back, T. They're just trying to find their son. Find their son? You mean they're related? That's right. They're a cactoid family. The eldest son, Dran, went missing, and they set out to find him. They came to our village along the way. Nothing but bad news, this Dran. He's part of a cactoid clan terrorizing the desert. There's even a bounty on his head. This here's the matriarch of the family. She's been searching high and low for him. Wants to bring him back home and set him straight. But they couldn't find Dran anywhere in Dalmasca. That's why they needed us. She forced us to guide them in the lands behind the desert. The Mosforan high waist, the sickle wood, even the necro of Nabodis had given up hope of even making it back. And after all that, we still couldn't find him. So they brought us back here for now. But who knows when they'll drag us off again. So there's a bounty on Dran's head, huh? You have an idea where he might be? I don't think he's in the North River. He must have looked under every stone between here and Arcadia. As for the South Bank, well, we weren't able to lead the cactoids there and get you and the others mixed up in this too. So that's why you set the boat adrift, keep them from making the crossings. I never figured on you coming to rescue me, but there's no time for that now. We'll keep them busy while you search for the South Bank for Dran. Right, just leave it to us. Let's get going. I gotta fucking, fuck. Hey, he's following me now. You found the cactoid? What? You didn't? You hunted the other one, but this one looks like just like the one that... Huh? Well, none of this makes much sense to me, but I guess we don't have much choice, huh? His family's waiting. Let's go. Time for another boat ride. Time for another boat ride. Time for another boat ride. Oh, dear. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get him back to his family. Hey, we found your son for now. Now let my dad go. Huh? I don't know. You think they're buying it? Look at them go. Guess they're gonna take him in after all. This is 1,000 gallon pouch away where farm shot. Nice. I'm surprised I don't have a lot of these maps already. I figured I would have had them already. I guess not. Guess they're moving back to the village. Okay, we done seen that enough. Jesus Christ. Don't need to see it anymore. This is getting on my nerves. This side quest is getting on my fucking nerves. Like, how much shit I gotta fucking do just to get a one fucking key? I do not. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind side quests, but fuck. This is way too much for one fucking key. Just so I can do a goddamn quest. Hunt quest. Like I've spent at least a good 20, 30, probably 20 minutes so far. Just doing this alone. There's no need for all that. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. Oh well, fuck it. I don't give a shit. We only need one. I'm just doing the one. Fuck you. Oh my god. This is a broken fucking record. You want something else? Oh my god! This is enough to make me want to quit. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of this whatsoever. I think this bitch needs everything. All I want is a key, but they won't give it to me because they want to make me do a bunch of fucking shit. I've not done that one already. Thank fucking God, I finally got this damn Ferrum key after all that fucking work.
Because he'll lose his radical left supporters, and once he does that, it's over with.
You said it again.
about my son, Beau Biden. You're talking about me.
I don't know Beau. I know Hunter.
Well, Hunter was in the Army too.
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true.
What, that Hunter got thrown out the Army, or Hunter was smoking crack? Fact check, moderator, do your job.
Cocaine use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president. Once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow, and various other places. He made a fortune.
My son,
and he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem.
That nigga AWOL rehab 6 times. That's bigger than a drug problem. Nigga, that's a drug situation.
He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it.
He's working on it, but he ain't fixed it yet. So that nigga's still a crackhead.
And I'm proud of him.
But why was he given
my
tens
son?
of millions?
All right, but he wasn't given $10 million. That is totally discredited. We've already been discredited. We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial subjects. Well, you know, as the moderator, sir, I'm going to make a judgment call here.
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow.
I think Hunter Biden's tax return would be a damn good topic.
Not true. Gentlemen, that report is totally discredited. Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money. That report is written for political reasons. You know, I'd like to talk about climate change. So would I.
But MAGA would like to keep on talking about Hunter. But I guess Donald Trump or MAGA can get what they want. Next.
The president says a lot of these things would tank the economy and cost millions of jobs.
He's absolutely wrong.
And I guess your ass is absolutely right. Ain't that a bitch?
This is a guy who says that you don't have to have mileage standards for automobiles that exist now. This is a guy who says that the fact it's all true. And here's
talking about the Green New Deal, and it's not $2 billion or $20 billion, as you said. It's $100 trillion.
That's a lot of damn money.
Talking about
they want to and rebuild the building. It's the dumbest, most ridiculous. Where airplanes are out of business, where 2-car systems are out, where they want to take out the cows.
Because every time the cows pour too much.
You know, that's not true either, right? This is a $100 trillion. That's more money than our country could make in 100 years.
And if I keep on getting donations like this from John Wicks, it will take me 10 million years to make that much money.
All right, let me because I actually, wait a minute, sir. I actually have studied your plan, and it includes upgrading 4 million buildings, weatherizing 2 million homes over 4 years, building 1.5 million energy-efficient homes. So the question becomes, the president is saying, I think some people who support the president would say that sounds like it's going to cost a lot of money and hurt the economy.
And kind of like the Green New Deal. Hey, Tracy.
Yeah.
Tell Sean and Jennifer this donation is going to my Green Deal.
He and his friends made it up, and then they went with it. I never said it.
Okay. That is not true. Sir, you're done in this segment.
He called the military
Vice President.
stupid bastards.
I did not.
He said it on tape. He said stupid bastards.
All that soldier shit you talking and you call them stupid bastards, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Sir, stop.
I would never say that.
Play it. Play it.
What you gotta say about that, Joe?
Go ahead. Mr. Vice President answered his final question.
The final question is, I can't remember which of all was ranted.
I'm having a little trouble myself, but and about the economy and about this question of what it's going to cost.
The economy.
I mean, the Green New Deal and the idea of what your environmental change will do.
Donald Trump got both of y'all mind fucked up. John Caruso. But you see how Donald Trump fucked up their head again?
Green New Deal will pay for itself as we move forward.
So your plan is the new Green Deal, and it will pay for itself, right?
But do you support the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
You support that?
No, I don't support the Green New Deal.
You don't? Oh, well, that's a big statement.
I support the plan.
The rest of the left.
I support the Biden plan that I put forward.
Okay.
But you was just talking about the Green New Deal plan that AOC
the Biden plan, which is different than what he calls the radical Green New Deal.
All right, gentlemen, final segment.
Wait a minute. Chris Wallace, you just gonna let him get away with that? We know your ass is voting Democrat. Next!
Election integrity. As we meet tonight, millions of Americans are receiving mail-in ballots or going to vote early. How confident should we be that this will be a fair election, and what are you prepared to do over the next 5+ weeks, because it'll not only be to election day, but also counting some ballots, mail-in ballots.
Eventually it does on
election
some
day.
diseases.
What are you prepared to do to reassure the American people that the next president will be the legitimate winner of this election? In this final segment, Mr. Vice President, you go first.
Yeah, age before realness.
Prepared to let people vote. They should go to iwillvote.com. Decide how they're going to vote, when they're going to vote, and what means by which they're going to vote. His own Homeland Security Director, and as well as the FBI Director, says there is no evidence at all that mail-in ballots are a source of being manipulated and cheating. They said that.
Well, they asked up next to the block.
2 minutes.
So, when I listened to Joe talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that election. And if you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won.
I guess Chris Wallace ain't gonna bring up none of the false aspirations and shit.
From the day I came down the escalator with our First Lady, they were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape.
Donald Trump got it all on tape. And I got that for a next donation all on my cash app. David, I bet you didn't know also that they were spying on Donald Trump's wife.
That's fine. Who supports Melania? You do have a legacy.
Yeah, but the thing, well, it doesn't come directly from, what I put on Twitter it came from me. They know about the children, and they talked about it.
But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, right? I mean, you do know what I'm saying. You shouldn't have people across the world. In New York, it was always Melania. Like,
Oh shit.
I don't give a
They both leveled up.
They
changed the party again.
Honestly, it's like, because it's, honestly, I'm doing the same stuff that I did before. They cannot stand him. They know that I'm with him. They know that
They still asking for you before. Now, you know what I'm saying?
Correct. Okay. All that stuff came out. They feel bad for me. My polls went up. They said, oh my God, she's amazing. She's fantastic.
We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the
God damn it! I'm fucking sick of that move.
Look at that, because we caught you in a citizen. President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too, so don't tell me about a free transition.
And don't tell me nothing about my homegirl Mary not being a Trump supporter.
As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster. A solicited ballot, okay? Solicited is okay. You're soliciting, you're asking, they send it back, you send it back.
Well, that means I ain't gotta send Justin T his money back. Because I'm a comedian, not a solicitor. And plus, Justin knows I lost a couple of dollars on that Raiders Patriot game, and I owe my grandmother a couple of dollars. And if I don't give her dollars fast, it's gonna be a problem. Thanks, Justin.
I did that. You have an unsolicited, they're sending millions of ballots all over the country.
The risks of mail-in voting are obvious. The latest example of that came today. DOJ announced that the FBI and the Pennsylvania State Police are investigating fraud in mail-in ballots in Luzerne County. That's the place Donald Trump won by double digits 4 years ago.
There's fraud. They found him in creeks.
Meanwhile, in Greenville, Wisconsin, authorities announced Tuesday that 3 trays of mail, including mail-in ballots, were discovered in a ditch, not counted in a ditch.
They found some with the name Trump, just happened to have the name Trump just the other day in a waste paper basket.
They need to find my baby mama in a waste paper basket.
They're being sent all over the place. They sent 2 in a Democrat area. They sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got
investigators have recovered a total of 9 ballots so far. Not surprisingly, the DOJ says an overwhelming majority of those ballots were cast for guess who? Donald Trump.
This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen.
Just hours ago in the state of Texas, the state attorney general announced that a county commissioner and several others have been arrested in an organized mail-in balloting scheme that took place during the 2018 Democratic primary.
The other thing, it's nice on November 3rd, you're watching and you see who won the election. And I think we're going to do well because people are really happy with the job we've done.
And I am really happy with the donation Brenda Griffin sent.
But you know what? We won't know. We might not know for months because these ballots are going to be all over.
Them ballots is going to be all over like my baby mama belly is all over her pants.
Take a look at what happened in Manhattan. Take a look at what happened in New Jersey. Take a look at what happened in Virginia and other places. They're not losing 2%, 1%, which, by the way, is too much. An election can be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and 40%.
Well, when I got my Facebook friend Dan Steincypher donation, I didn't lose no percentage. Steincypher, I hope I got that right. And if I didn't,
fuck!
They have mailmen with lots of it. Did you see what's going on? Take a look at West Virginia mailmen selling the ballots.
Fuck off, dude. This horse shit right here. God fucking damn.
They're saying is that it has to be a postmark by the time, by election day. It just doesn't get in
The fuck?
It's still
He's fucking trapped.
And what if they send you the wrong envelope with the wrong damn name?
He's just afraid of counting the votes.
Motherfucker, I'm done. Fuck this.
I want to continue with you on this.
Fuck, dude.
He's so wrong when he makes this happen.
That is such fucking horse shit, dude.
I'm concerned that any
That is such fucking horse shit. That makes me want to quit right there. That really makes me want to fucking quit. Oh my fucking god.
an affidavit. If you didn't know, you have someone say that this is me. You should be able to, if in fact you can verify that's you when before the ballot is thrown out, that's sufficient to be able to count the ballot because someone made a mistake and not dotting the correct I. Who they voted for, testify, say who they voted for.
I'm gonna have to go and see if I can find like disease potions or something. Cause this is fucking, that whole situation was fucking horse shit.
You know it can't be done.
But donating to my cash app like Cal Burkhart can.
You know it can't, and already.
All right, so now bail service delivered to the gentleman in the final question in 8 states, election workers are prohibited, currently by law, 8 states, from even beginning to process ballots, even take them out of the envelopes and flatten them until election day.
People are opting for absentee ballots. Now we are learning that some voters across Brooklyn are reporting that they got the wrong absentee ballot sent to their home, and it is raising a lot of concern.
That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge increase in mail-in balloting, that we are not going to know on election night who the winner is, that it could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months.
And it could be Susan Lawrence that donate the last $50 that I owe my grandmother on that Patriot game.
Until we find out who the new president is. So first for you, sir, finally for the vice president, I hope neither of you will interrupt the other. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended period, not to engage in any civil unrest, and will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified?
And stand by.
President Trump, you go first.
I'm urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully.
Stand back and let the police do their job.
Because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it.
And stand by if you see somebody committing voter fraud or harvesting votes.
As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers. A very safe, very nice thing.
They stand by.
They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch.
For standing by.
You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things. And I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair election, I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that.
Neither can Kerry.
You're sending out 80 million ballots. They're not equipped to... These people aren't equipped to handle it, number one. Number two, they cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3 days ago, and they all had the name military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
5 weeks until Election Day, and some voters who requested absentee ballots are getting ballots meant for someone else. One Pix11 viewer tweeting, "I received my absentee ballot today addressed to me, but the official absentee ballot envelope inside has a different woman's name and address. My husband also received his absentee ballot today with the same mistake."
That somehow it's a fraudulent process.
It's already been established.
How can we resolve this? Hannah and her husband are apparently not the only ones. Voters across at least 5 neighborhoods have been identified by the news outlet The City as getting the wrong oath envelope to return those ballots, including Sheepshead Bay, Crown Heights, Prospect Heights, Park Slope, and Dumbo.
Take a look at Carolyn Maloney's race.
You had an opportunity to respond. Go ahead.
They have no idea what happened.
President Biden, go ahead.
He could have been done with if he wasn't such a little bitch.
The Board of Elections responding to their story saying, "We are determining how many voters have been affected, but we can assure that the vendor will address the problem in future mailings and make sure people who received erroneous envelopes receive new ones." The BOE also tweeting that anyone who gets an incorrect oath envelope should reach out so a new ballot can be sent.
So what they gonna do with the people who already got the old ones? They gonna ask for them back?
He has no idea what he's talking about. Here's the deal. The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why? Because once the winner is declared after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome. And I'll be a president not just for the Democrats. I'll be president for Democrats and Republicans. And this guy...
I want to see an honest ballot count.
Gentlemen, will you say that's the end of it? This is the end of this debate?
Honest ballot count.
We're going to leave it there.
Donald Trump think Joe Biden wants fair voting. Out of this whole debate, that's the first line I heard Donald Trump tell.
To be continued as in more debates as we go on. President Trump, Vice President Biden, it's been an interesting hour and a half.
It's showing the fuck.
Fuck. Fuck. Nice. Alright. So at least I got two, so I just need to get friends now. Right? Yeah, 'cause she's the only one that didn't have it. Okay. 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 Now I got a plan. Now I got a plan. Canelo and Frank.
I'm worried that as long as the administration continues to preach hate and division, talking about people in ways they talk about them, that I am worried.
So you said Donald Trump say things about black people. When? You lying motherfucker.
And think of what the rest of the world's looking. You know, I mean, I don't read the international press, but I get it delivered to me all the time through my advisors and the old security people.
Well, if you don't read it, how the hell you gonna quote from it?
They're looking at us like, what in God's name is going on in the United States of America?
And you get that from a paper you don't even read. Next!
Mr. Vice President, Bob Woodward asked President Trump about white privilege and whether or not he benefited from it. And the president said, no, I don't feel that way at all, and sort of mocked Bob Woodward. Do you see ways that you benefited from white privilege?
Sure, I benefited just because I don't have to go through what my black brothers and sisters have had to go through, number one.
Number two, I made the law to lock black people up and keep them away from my kids and my mother. But I bet Joe Biden got a different answer. Joe Biden got a different number two.
Number two, you know, growing up here in Scranton, we're used to guys that look down their nose at us. We look to people who look at us and think that we're suckers. Look at us and they think that we're not equivalent to them.
So you mean Donald Trump supporters looking down on black people? Because they're the only two groups you can be talking about. Because if you're not talking about them two, please explain.
Hello, Vice President Biden. Black parents across America need to know how much different will the talk be with our sons and daughters about police interaction under your administration?
You can answer a softball question without being racist, right? Because black people want to know, how would the police treat black people under the Biden administration?
What advice would you give me the next time I am stopped by the police?
Can you give her an honest answer that is not racist?
If you're my daughter, you'd be a Caucasian girl pulled over.
Just can't help yourself now, can you? I'm pretty sure that interferes.
Totally different, but let me make it clear.
How much clearer can you make it?
Very few white parents have to turn and say to their kid, once they get their license, make sure if you're pulled over, put both hands on top of the wheel.
I don't think their parents taught them to get out the car and run from the police or assault the police either. I guess they learned them lessons on their own.
Don't reach for the glove box. Make sure you do whatever the police officer says.
Including non-resistant arrest.
The vast majority of police are decent, honorable people.
But according to liberals, you bad apples.
One of the things I've found is the only people who don't like bad cops more than we don't like them our police officers.
Well, the liberals not separating the good ones from the bad ones. They call it all of racist pigs.
And so what we have to do is we have to have a much more transparent means by which we provide for accountability within police departments.
Accountability, my ass. Subtractability. The police are using their subtractability to subtract their ass from the force. They're retiring.
As mentioned, as retired police chief, I am very concerned about the violence taking place in our cities across this country. I'm especially concerned about the lack of respect shown towards law enforcement officers and military. Can you tell us what your plan is for addressing this situation and bringing our nation back together, sir?
That nigga do what he can't stand, but the people that support him can.
The folks in law enforcement that share the goals of reimagining police.
What the hell is reimagining police?
And agree on basic fundamental things that have to be done, including much more rigorous background checks on those who apply for and become police officers.
So you're gonna do more background checks on the police than you do criminals. Ain't that a bitch?
What can we do to reimagine public safety?
You can keep talking that racist shit that the left is talking and turn the police into criminals and the oppressor.
A lone gunman approaching their cruiser, firing multiple times, fleeing on foot.
Then you will have vigilante justice when you start
reimagining public safety.
Is what will happen if Joe Biden get into office. It will be the more imaginative.
2, teaching people how to de-escalate.
Because I guess the police need to learn how to talk to suspects better. But what about how the suspects talk about the police?
Describe for me what the protesters were chanting. What were they saying?
Well, they were saying death to the police, kill the police, and these are sheriffs. But the message is still the same. And they were using all type of curse words and derogatory terms about the police, just provoking our police officers. Unacceptable behavior, because the hospital should be a sanctuary where we should leave hospitals alone.
Police stations, hospitals, restaurants. What's next? Your home? Too late. They already started doing that shit. What's next? Your kid's school? Wait, it's a little too late for that. Because they already influencing your kid's homework. Well, when I find out what's next, I promise I'll let you know. Next!
Violence of any kind, no matter who it is coming from, is wrong, and people should be held accountable.
Well, why don't you and the Democrats stop bailing people out of jail for burning down businesses? That would be a good start.
Reimagine public safety in this country.
But here's the deal. I've condemned every form of violence, no matter what the source is. No matter what the source is.
Saying you condemn violence and actually doing something about it is two different things.
Community efforts to reimagine policing.
Tulsa Police Chief Wendell Franklin visibly emotional and frustrated today, just moments before releasing body cam video showing 2 officers shot in the line of duty. Sergeant Craig Johnson lost his life. Officer Aresh Zarkishan survived.
Reimagining policing, reimagining our public safety.
Is the police losing their life and the left giving these crazy motherfuckers rationale to kill the police? Is that what you call
to reimagine public safety?
3, providing for a 911 calls like what happened in Lancaster. Making sure that you have psychologists and psychiatrists available to go out to deal with those circumstances.
I want to see one of them social workers come out when they got to deal with a nigga like OJ and see can they put OJ under arrest or make OJ calm down when he's on cocaine and alcohol.
And that breaking news is happening right now in Superior Township, where we've learned a Washtenaw County Sheriff's deputy has been shot while responding to a shooting.
Is that what Black Lives Matter call?
Reimagining policing in the 21st century.
Killing the police because the police is the problem. So the police need to be investigated. You know what that means.
To begin to sit down and lay out what the minimum basic requirements are and what is out of bounds, period. Including the ability for us to be able to go in and look at pattern and practice of police departments so they're completely transparent.
Damn. I'm surprised Joe Biden can say that many people consistently. That must have been like a tongue twister for him. I wonder how many times he practiced that.
Reimagining public safety.
Fox Phoenix telling us now that there was a shooting outside
the federal courthouse in Phoenix, Arizona, said to be a federal officer shot in front of the Sandra Day O'Connor Federal Building in a drive-by attack.
And this is one you can't blame on my grandmother.
You feel safer in Donald Trump's America when he incites these kinds of things? The idea is it's wrong no matter what the source is, where it comes from.
But if the source is from the Democrats, then the source is right.
You begin to reimagine law enforcement. Association city officers again dealing with the difficult news this morning of another officer being shot. This time, that officer was shot in the shoulder. I talked to police a short time ago. That officer said to be in stable condition at this hour and is expected to pull through.
To reimagine public safety.
Rethinking and reimagining policing.
They rethinking and reimagining, all right. They rethinking that the consequences of the police ain't shit, and they imagining frying pigs in a blanket. Killing police has gone on in multiple cities.
Sure, Lauren, so we're here outside the emergency room at Barnes-Jewish Hospital. We just got here about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to let you look at the scene. You can see all of the police officers that have gathered outside of the emergency room. Police confirming to us tonight that one of their officers was shot in the shoulder tonight, and he was conscious and breathing when he was taken here to the emergency room.
Which has been filled up with wounded officers lately.
We have to reimagine what policing looks like.
Right now, police reform look like my baby mama pussy. Horrible.
The officer who was in the passenger seat is now recovering after being hit in the shoulder late last night. And he is the 9th police officer to be shot in
we got it.
in St. Louis City this year.
Get friend.
That has to be a record.
What can we do to reimagine
Now we are set.
To
Reimagine policing.
Reimagine a citizen-led approach.
What the fuck is a citizen-led approach? Citizens taking the law into their own hands?
They weren't asked to make the ultimate sacrifice, but 2 of our officers were shot.
It happened around 2:30 this morning during a traffic stop on West Polk Street near Spalding on the city's west side. Police say officers pulled someone over and saw a gun inside the car. They say they told the suspect to get out, but he locked himself inside. The officers then physically broke the car windows in an attempt to arrest him.
The struggle ensues. Shots are fired. The suspect shot the officer.
I guess shooting the police is one of the new norms the left is talking about.
By the way, Chief, when you put that badge on and you walk out the door, you have a right to come home to your family safely.
You should try telling that to the vast majority of officers that are good too. But enough about that. Let's talk about the coronavirus approach and how you have to be lying about coronavirus.
200,000 lives lost to a pandemic.
She about to add one more. Joe Biden don't look too good.
The number of troops lost in Afghanistan and Iraq. The number wounded.
Wait a minute, nigga. You had to get a list. You are worse than a first grader with all these notes and teleprompters.
This is my schedule. The back of the schedule is always a black box. You can't really see it. The press may be able to.
Nigga, we hope you can see it. I hope you know you can't use notes in the debate.
It says daily U.S. updates. Troops died in Iraq and Afghanistan. 6,922.
Are you sure you got that right?
Not over 6,000. 6,922.
Wait a minute. Ain't 6,922 more than 6,000?
U.S. troops wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan. 53,188. Not over 53,000.
You starting to confuse me.
U.S. COVID infected military. Excuse me. U.S. COVID infected in Americans.
Which one is it?
U.S. COVID deaths. 1,000.
1,000 U.S. deaths. What, did some of the people from coronavirus come back from the dead? Never mind, Joe. Let's talk about the economy.
That's why my Build Back Better agenda. That's what it's all about. It starts right here with you.
Damn, the economy. What about that cough?
Today, I'm announcing some additional steps to make this plank even stronger.
You need to holler at a doctor to get your immune system stronger.
They doubled the number that have been and a lot of others.
The news media and all the others should be questioning your health.
What's it worth? What's the worth of a woman or man's word? Of a president's word? It's not matched with action. In 2016,
your ass started developing that cough.
He could do what, quote, nobody else could do it but him. He promised.
You don't need to make more promises, nigga. You need to start making a will.
Necessary. But before we do that, I just want to ask you, the president, you've said that the president's denials of the seriousness of the virus in the beginning was deadly, that it cost lives. The president and the Senate Majority Leader are now suggesting that impeachment distracted the president from responding to the virus. Do you buy that at all?
No, but she gonna tell us some bullshit.
I think that's an admission that perhaps the president and the majority leader cannot handle the job.
And you didn't either. Trump's still president.
As of right now, as yesterday, anybody that needs a test, that's the important thing. And the tests are all perfect. Like the letter is perfect.
So, since March 6th, everybody who wanted a test could have got a test. But didn't everybody want a test?
I'm gonna have to end it right here because my fucking controller's dying.
How the fuck was he lying?
Because of all we've done, the risk.
I shall be back on here soon. Very, very soon.
Donald Trump had to hold press conferences to get the news out. Because if Donald Trump wasn't speaking, who in the hell would listen? No matter if you like them or not.
For example, the first thing that you suggested is that the scientists